we're speaking to Ambaree Majumder this morning. She's a Singaporean mom and she's vegan and she's raising both her kids vegan as well. So thank you so much, Ambaree, for speaking to us this morning on the Light Breakfast.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Now, first of all, tell us about your own journey of becoming a vegan. What prompted you to want to become a vegan?
Why I became a vegan is has nothing to actually do with the health perspective or the environment perspective, which are pretty common and popular nowadays for people to go vegan. For me, it was totally ethical. It was an ethical stand I took in 2006 first when I became a vegetarian from being a carnivorous person. And in 2006, I stopped eating meat and fish, thinking that it was not right for me to really take somebody's life in order to nourish myself, especially when there are so many other options available, you know. So I did that. And in 2006, I was not very sure about whether even quitting dairy and eggs would be okay for me health-wise. So I continued eating eggs and dairy for the next 10 years. And in 2016, when I learned about the health benefits one can actually achieve by quitting dairy and eggs, I decided to do that. And we watched a lot of, me and my husband, we watched a lot of medical documentaries. We did a lot of research. And I got a certification done on plant-based nutrition. I mean, just before, I mean, we were in two minds about whether we want to bring Ahana on board or no. Before I did that, I wanted to make sure that I actually know the science behind it and not just the emotional part about it, because my child was coming on board and I didn't want to take any risk whatsoever, just like every other parent. So I did the certification, and after I learned the science and the research that has gone behind this plant-based nutrition, we decided that Ahana should also be a vegan from that day onwards.
How old was she at that point?
He was four.
Right.
She was 4.
And my son was not born at that time. He was born in 2017. Yeah.
So you were vegetarian all throughout your pregnancy.
Oh yes, I was vegetarian. I mean, with Ahana's when I was carrying Ahana, I was vegetarian. And when she was born vegetarian. She was eating a vegetarian diet, which meant that she was just not eating meat and fish, but she was eating dairy and eggs. But then when we became vegan, she also stopped eggs and dairy. And my son, when I was pregnant with Arish, my son, I was vegan. I had a vegan pregnancy, and he is vegan since he was born. I mean, since I conceived him actually, because both my husband and I were vegan already when I conceived him.
Okay. So your doctors were okay with you just being vegan during the pregnancy, because a lot of times, you know how they say you might not get enough nutrients as a pregnant mother eating just vegetables and other vegan products.
Right. My doctors were pretty okay. I mean, I did a little bit of research about doctors who are open to dietary preferences, because you're right, not every doctor is open to patients being vegan, whether it can be a pregnant woman or even pediatricians, right? Not all pediatricians are okay with their child patients to be not drinking formula or not eating eggs or meat. So I did a little bit of research on the doctors who are open-minded and who are rather updated with the science, who are, because this research is there in the medical world as much as it is there in our world. So yeah, my doctors were pretty okay. I mean, they were fantastic, both my gynecologist and the pediatrician.
Okay. Do you think being on a vegan diet helped improve your health in any way, even all throughout pregnancy?
So throughout pregnancy, I mean, the first pregnancy, that time I had this condition called hypothyroidism, which is very common amongst women who are 30 plus, especially amongst the Indian women, because a lot of my Indian friends have this problem of an underactive thyroid. I was suffering from an autoimmune disease called the Hashimoto's, which manifested into something called the hypothyroidism, and I was on medication for that. So that was I started the medication in 2010, I think, and I continued throughout my pregnancy. But in 2016, actually, the trigger that happened at that time for me to switch to a plant-based diet was this story that I had read about Venus Williams, the
Mm.
tennis
Tennis
star.
player. Yeah.
Yeah, she actually also was suffering from an autoimmune disease. That disease is a very difficult name, and every time I have to say it, I just can't remember it.
We'll Google it. No worries.
So I knew that she was suffering from an autoimmune disease, because of which she had to stop playing for a while. And the way that she and all the doctors had said that you wouldn't be able to play again, because the fatigue was so much that she was
Mm,
not able to get up from her bed.
mm,
So so what she did, the only thing that she did was that she switched to a plant-based diet. And I think within a couple of years, or maybe less than a year, she was back to playing, and she won many tournaments after that. So I was like, one thing I knew was that no matter what your autoimmune disease is, it's just that your immunity is actually attacking your body.
mm.
It might be different things, different parts of your body might be attacking different things, but then the basic the principle of an autoimmune disease is that. So that's when I decided that probably it's not just the ethical bit, but also I should try it also for my health, because I was on medication for hypothyroidism. And I went on a plant-based diet, on a very, very strict plant-based diet, meaning I was not eating refined sugar, I was not eating fried food, and on a vegan diet. And within 4 months, my hypothyroidism was gone. And
Wow.
I have not gone onto that medication since then, which was in 2016. And after that, I had I was pregnant again with my son. So yeah, so that's the health benefit that I have. I mean, one of the major health benefits that I have encountered. And apart from that, energy wise, you are much higher and all of that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, with this health benefit that you have sort of enjoyed, was it always in the back of your mind that you would want to raise your kids vegan as well, or
Oh,
on a plant-based diet?
absolutely. I mean, absolutely. I am a very anxious mother. So I feel that all parents are anxious, but their degrees are different. And I think I belong to the other spectrum. I'm not anxious about anything else. I am only anxious about their health and well-being. I mean, I don't really care so much about their school grades and stuff, because I believe that these things happen, and they are going to be, it's not nothing to really worry about. But I was worried about their health since the
Mm,
time I even thought of having children. I was like, what if they get into eating habits which are not good for them? Because with the kind of food that are available in the markets right now, people, forget children, even adults are just going and eating whatever is available, and not thinking about the repercussions that they might have to face in terms of health. Forget about the planet and the animals, even their own bodies, right? They're abusing their own bodies knowingly.
mm,
Is the dangerous part, right? So I wanted to make sure that I raise my children in a way that they get used to a lifestyle which is good for them, even when they are in their 30s and 40s, and I'm not there around, but they already know. So what I believed is, what I still believe in is that we spend a lot of money, time, effort on raising our kids, and teaching them skills like swimming and
mm,
math and coding and everything else, but we don't teach them what to eat, rather how to eat, because what you eat and how you eat actually plays the most important part in your life. I mean, you can be a genius, but if you are diagnosed with cancer, what then?
mm,
How do you prevent that from happening, when you are older? So that has been the thought process really behind I mean, one of the major thought processes that have gone behind me deciding to raise them on a plant-based lifestyle.
mm.
And also my husband has been very, very supportive. And I was a little bit unsure, but he read and saw this documentary about how children are actually getting puberty earlier now.
Yeah.
They're getting puberty so much earlier. And there is this thing which really blew his mind. And after he saw that, he was like, Anna is going to be vegan from tomorrow. So what was that like? That line was that, nowadays children have a mature body, but an immature mind.
Mm.
So that causes a lot of conflict in the actions they take as teenagers or, as young adults. So he was like, I'm not going to knowingly let this happen. Dairy needs to go out of her diet. I'm not going to let it happen knowingly. So the health part has been a very, very important deciding factor.
What did he watch?
Sorry.
What was it that he watched that changed his mind?
I want to watch it too.
Yeah.
Should. Actually, I always recommend. So there is this movie called Forks Over Knives.
Yeah.
Forks Over Knives.
Yeah.
It's available on Netflix. There they talk. It's actually based on a study that was done in China. The largest medical evidence-based research that was done in China. It's called the China study. It's very famous. So it talks about how people who lead a traditional Chinese lifestyle, where animal products, whether it's meat or dairy or eggs, are minimal, and they actually have a very fulfilling health.
Mm.
And how the same people, when they move to an urban organization, and how they actually start getting breast cancers, and these things were never there in the earlier generations. So why did these things happen? And so you should watch it. Yeah, you should watch it. And
Forks
what?
over knives.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so he was carnivorous as well, was he?
Sorry.
Was your husband also a carnivore like you?
So he was born into a vegetarian family. But I think when he went to university and away from his family, he started eating meat, and he was already very high in dairy consumption. So I would not say that he was carnivorous like I was. I was eating chicken for breakfast sometimes, but he was, but he was eating meat. Yeah.
Okay. But I guess as parents, right, you said your son was born a vegan.
Yeah.
We were taught that next to breast milk, cow's milk is crucial for a child's growth, for a baby's growth. Were you worried when your son was a baby that he won't get enough nutrients from a plant-based diet? Did you let him drink any milk?
Cow milk? No.
No. Okay. But he drank a plant-based milk.
No.
Oh, so he didn't drink any milk at all.
He just drank my milk.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
For how long? For a year?
I still breastfeed him, but that's just it's not for nutrition anymore.
Yeah.
I do it at night just to put him to sleep and soothing. Actually, breastfeeding has got many benefits apart from the nutrition. It actually can, we have this concept of terrible twos and
Yeah.
three liters when they totally go crazy, right? What I have seen is that if I'm breastfeeding and he is in his elements of aggression, and he's confused and screaming, if I just offer him the breast, it actually calms him down instantly. This has got nothing to do with nutrition, but with convenience. So a lot of times when he's out of control, and I get a corner, I'll just take him there and sometimes actually it comes from my husband. He's like, why don't you just give him the breast? Just let me cover you. Let me just feed you somewhere. Just do it. And then that calms him down. So coming to a question, no, I was never scared that he's going to be short on any nutrient, because plant-based nutrition is if you eat a well-balanced plant-based nutrition, then you are going to be getting all the nutrients that you need for a very happy, healthy, and long life. And the American Institute of Nutrition, they have also, after much research, they have also declared that people of any age, starting from when you are in your mother's womb, can actually get all the nutrients you need for optimal growth. Having said that, there is just one nutrient which actually we need to supplement since we are vegan, and that is vitamin B12.
Okay.
So vitamin B12 is actually a nutrient which is found in soils, which is found in river water, and so in olden days, people would drink water straight out of the rivers, or but now that's not how it is. Or even in olden days, people would just pull out a carrot out of the soil and just wash it and eat it, right? So vitamin B12 is also present in soil. But nowadays, because of extreme sanitization and even more with COVID, there is the vitamin, the good bacteria, the good nutrients actually get washed away. So for that reason, vitamin B12 is a nutrient that we take supplement for. So apart from that, there has not been any nutrient that he is lacking in, except that probably when he, just like every other kid, if you fall sick, you don't eat well, and then like he had a bout of fever, like in the beginning of the year, and for about 10 days he was not well and he didn't eat well. So of course he was short on nutrients. But as soon as he just like every other kid, as soon as he recovered, he started eating and everything was okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess because your son was born a vegan, he didn't know any different. But with your daughter, she only turned vegan when she was 4, right? So how did you convince her to go vegan? Most children, they don't like vegetables.
So okay, so let me just re-emphasize, or probably just mention for the first time in this interview, is that uh, vegan food is not just vegetables. It's vegan food is just like every other food. If you cook it well and if you plan it well, it can be very, very delicious. I mean, it's just like any other food. Like for example, if I say carnivorous meals have got only boiled chicken, I mean, would you go for a boiled chicken? No. I mean, you would say no to the carnivorous meal, right? So similarly, plant-based meals can be very interesting. They can be very colorful. They can be very delicious, depending upon how you cook them. So coming to a question, whether how I convinced my daughter, actually I was a bit apprehensive when I was approaching this, because she was eating yogurt every single meal, the Greek yogurt, the thick fatty creamy yogurt. I was like, how am I going to take that off of her diet? And probably what if she becomes fussy and she doesn't eat, and what am I going to do? But then I just whenever I'm in any kind of confusion, I always my conscience and my heart always knows what's right, and I don't overcomplicate it, and I just approach it. I told her that, Ahana, I am going to stop eating dairy from now onwards, which includes your ice cream and which also includes your yogurt. So she asked me, why would you do that? So I told her that, how the dairy industry works. It works on the principle of separating a baby from their mother. Just the way you are my baby, would you like it if somebody took you away from me and took my milk? I mean, the reason why they are taking you away from me is because somebody else wants to consume my milk, that I produced because I gave birth to you. So this milk is all yours. Nobody else should be forcing me to give it to them. So my daughter, actually, it's not just my daughter. Even later, I spoke to many children. Children are so much more receptive to changes than adults. I mean, I'm a speaker and I speak at different organizations, big audiences, small audiences, people of all ages, and I have seen such high degree of reception when it came to children. They have decided to make changes, whereas with adults, they are very concerned about things like convenience, things like, what am I going to do, how is this going to happen? They think a lot, whereas children are like, okay, I'll stop it, what's the big deal, I'll not eat it. So with my child, that's what it has happened. Of course, there have been, like for example, when the ice cream went away, not that she used to eat a lot of ice cream earlier also, but then, I had to look for dairy-free ice creams. And in today's world, if you're in a place like Singapore or even Malaysia or any other a developed country, there are a lot of vegan options available, so yogurt went out of the window, but then I started making soy yogurts at home. She was eating them for some time, she would eat that. But yeah, it went on way more smoother than I was getting nightmares about. Yeah.
Okay, but what do you tell them when they see other kids eating like, chicken nuggets and having an ice cream, do they ever ask you like, can I have some?
So with Ahan, my son is really young, and I haven't had the conversation with him yet because I don't think he understands anything. But with I mean, he doesn't understand these things like chicken nuggets, all of that. But with my daughter, she is 8 now, and since we turned vegan, we have been very clear about why we are vegan. She knows why she's vegan. That one reason is there in her mind, and I really did not do anything special to put it inside her mind. She just knows it, that it's if I have so many other options, then I don't need to go into something which comes out of somebody's death or somebody's pain or suffering. I have many other options. So we go to birthday parties, and now of course she goes on by her. I mean, I just drop her off, but when she was younger, at birthday parties, I just leave her free. You can eat whatever you want. So she chooses. If there are no vegan options available, which used to be very often a case, earlier, because not too many people knew that she was vegan, whereas now everyone knows that, oh, Anna, so there I must keep some vegan food. But earlier, when people didn't know, there was nothing available a lot of time, especially the birthday cake was, had eggs and dairy. But so I used to give her, I mean, not give her, I mean, she was totally free to eat whatever she wants. So if it was, she never ate meat anyway, so she was not tempted to do that. If she wanted to eat a plain cheese pizza, she was free to eat. And even today, if there is a party in her school, she can eat whatever she wants, as long as, because if there is, even me, so it has happened with me as well. I was pregnant with Ahana, and I was on a flight in Malaysia, actually, from KL to Kota Kinabalu, because my dad used to live there at that time. And the flight got delayed, and I was 8 months pregnant, and I was like so hungry, like I was gonna die. I felt like, and it, the KLKK flight is like really short, right? And they didn't have pre-booked meals or anything. So they said, oh, so I said, okay, what do you have? So he said, we have only chicken and rice. So I was like, oh, okay. So I can't even ask for something. So he said, no, you can't. So we have only one option. So I said, okay, so can I have chicken and rice? And I was a vegetarian for a very long time at that time. So I was hungry, and I was in no confusion whether I'm going to eat that or no, because I am going to eat that. If I'm hungry and there is nothing else available, I am going to eat whatever is available. So that principle is there with Ahana as well. If there is something else available, if there is a plant-based option available, eat that plant-based option at that time. If there's nothing available and you're hungry, just eat what's available. So it's very simple. It's not as complicated as parents think that, oh my goodness, what my child wants to eat that. What am I going to do? It's not like that.
Yeah, but I guess there are some people who are vegan who are very, very strict and very, even with family, they're like,
Vegan,
why did you cook
vegan or
these?
death? Some people, yeah.
So I am also one of them. But I understand I mean, if I go to my own family party, I would expect them to serve me vegan food. I mean, but if I go like on a flight, or I go on a holiday, when there's nothing else available,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to kill myself for my cause. If I die, what's going to happen to my cause?
Yeah.
I'm not going to torture myself. The whole point is that you can be very happy on a vegan lifestyle. That's the whole point of me being vegan. You don't have to sacrifice anything. It's just, in the beginning, it's just a matter of, like you go to anything new, there's a transition period where, you are missing your old home. Even when you change your house, there are things that you are missing in your new house that used to happen in your old household, right? Anything new needs a bit of a time to transition, and that's what is the only thing. And once you have transitioned, you will realize that actually vegan lifestyle is very, very easy, and it can make you really happy. So my principle for myself and for my children is that if there is vegan option available, eat it. And if there is nothing available, just eat whatever is available. Don't keep yourself hungry. That's not the point. That's not, we are not here to prove a point to ourselves or anybody. We are just doing it for our own health, for the planet, and we are doing it for the animals. Yeah.
What did the rest of your family think about you involving your kids in a vegan diet?
They were not very welcoming of it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so they were very apprehensive, but I understand that. I mean, they were concerned about me. So yeah, so we have had few back and forth conversations, I would call them. And but then I think, as I said, my husband is actually the one who will, like, you know, who doesn't fear a confrontation or an argument or a, you know, exchange of opinions. So he convinced them that, you know, and the thing is that, and the thing with what happened with me was that, okay, if at any point of time I felt that ahana was lacking somewhere, I can immediately go back to eating eggs. I mean, I just have to go to the supermarket and buy eggs and boil it, and it's not a big deal, you know. It's not like I have gone to another planet where there is nothing else available. You know? The minute I realize, the minute I would feel, and as a mother and as an anxious mother, you know, or a concerned parent who is very abreast with what's happening to their child, it is very, I would be able to see that, you know, she's not, is she, if a kid is lacking in something, you can see it. And there's nothing to worry about. Just go and buy a carton of milk and feed her. It's not like I won't be able to do it. It's not like all doors are closed now. I mean, I can still go and buy what I want to buy. Yeah.
Did you have to inform your children's school about this too? Like, were you met with any disapprovals from the schools?
Disapprovals from school, no. But I did have a couple of conversations where other fellow parents felt that probably I am so I am risking my children's health.
Okay.
So they shared their opinions with me, and I assume that they are, because they came to me because they're concerned, and it was a very positive conversation. Most of them were very positive. And they did ask me, because actually, just the way you are curious, people are very curious about how can vegan children, I mean, I was parenting vegan like, as if parenting was not tough enough, and then I'm kind of, you know, introducing another tough element to it by going vegan. So yeah, in school I did not face anything. No, I just let the teachers know that she's vegan, and whenever there's a class party, I'm okay if she wants to eat a cupcake. I mean, she's the one who will decide whether she wants to eat it or no.
Okay.
So, and I normally pack food for them anyway, because the cafeteria food is not, not to my liking, honestly. So, yeah. So,
Okay.
no.
All right. But if at any point your children say that they do not want to be vegan anymore, would you be supportive of that?
Depends on their age. Like, for example, my children say a lot of things they want to do and they don't want to do. I don't listen to everything they say, because they're not at that age yet. I mean, they are not going to decide about whether at 1 a.m. in the night they want to watch cartoon. That's not in their hands. I decide that. So, but then once they're 17 years old, 18 years old, if they're doing it, I'm not sure. I mean, if I will have the authority to stop them, you know. But till the time I have my authorities to stop them, and it's not just stopping them. Actually, it's about explaining it to them. It's about bringing them on board with me. Just like good habits, just like brushing your teeth. You know, we teach them, and at one point of time, if they say, "I don't want to brush my teeth," what am I going to do? I'm going to just, you know, re-emphasize the benefits of brushing your teeth twice a day, right? So I'm going to convince them. I think I have. I will be able to convince them. But yeah, when they're older, when they're, you know, off to the universities, or they live alone, if they want to do it, I mean, I really can't stop, because I don't have that. I would not have that kind of authority anymore. They would be adults. Yeah.
But as an authority figure right now, do you think it is right for for you to impose sort of what you believe and what your diet on your children?
Yes, I think it is right, because we if even if we don't talk about the diet, there are a lot of values that we teach our children. I would not use the word impose, because I never force them. It's I have explained to them. I'm not talking about my son at all. I mean, I'm just talking about Ahana, because she's, old enough to understand. With my son right now, it's a different story. I mean, I have to give them different things. But with my daughter, I've never forced them. It's just like how tell your children not to tell lies, don't bully others, be careful on the road, uh, keep your handwriting clean. Just like, if if a diet, if teaching somebody to eat healthy is forcing them to be healthy, then telling them to be careful while crossing the road is also forcing them to be careful on the road. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not depriving them of anything. I mean, my child, I mean, my daughter, she is a very sporty person. She plays probably more sports than any other kid. I mean, she's into martial arts. She's a gymnast. She's a swimmer. She's into the school swimming team. What else she does? Oh, basketball. I also forget. So she's into a lot of activities, and she's doing well in her education, in her academics. So and she actually won a MasterChef Junior like last week.
Wow.
She made a in Singapore. It was held in Singapore by a company. It was on Zoom, but yeah. So she's into baking. She baked plant-based donuts. So yeah, so imposing children to be safe, I mean, telling children to be safer, healthier, don't do drugs, don't touch fire, if these are things parents want their children to learn for their safety and for their good future. So I really don't look at it as imposing anything for my convenience.
I like your perspective. Like, if you can impose safety rules, if you can impose your own religion on that person, on your child, you
Yeah.
should be able to tell them what to eat as well.
So we have our festivals, right? I'm Indian, and we have like Indian festivals, and my children take part in them. I mean, I take them to those festivals. I mean, would somebody call that also imposing religious viewpoints on them? No. And when they are 20 years old, if they want to change their religion, what am I going to do? Nothing. I can't do anything. So let them do it. I mean, for the first few years when they're with me and I'm the one who's deciding, taking the shots for them, I'm going to do whatever, I feel is right for them.
Yeah. Okay. Now, do you have any advice for me, especially since my daughter wants to go vegetarian now, and my son, who is turning 4 soon, will not touch a single strand of vegetable. Like, he sees broccoli that I've cut up and chopped up, and he's like, there's broccoli in there. I don't want to eat any vegetable.
Yeah. So, yes, I have a couple of points that I would like to probably bring to you. The first one would be that if your daughter is saying that she wants to be vegetarian, you should know why she wants to be vegetarian. What is the reason? So if it is only for taste, or if it is not for taste, then I think one thing you should invest in is learning to cook delicious plant-based meals. Easy, like things which are fast, right? And which don't which don't require a lot of time and investment in terms of ingredients, right? So we have a lot of plant-based foods in our kitchen, in our regular kitchen. So use them up, and thankfully we live in this era of social media. Just open YouTube and you'll get whatever you want. So number one advice would be that learn to cook, or ask somebody to cook for you vegan food, which are delicious. And vegan food has got vegetables, and that also, just plain blanched vegetables are just a part of our plant-based. It's just one part of a plant-based meal. you can have a lot of grains, you can have a lot of legumes, you can have fruits, you can have nuts and seeds. That's one thing. So learn to cook easy vegan meals. The other thing is that for a child or even for an adult to change something that they have always been doing. So somebody who has had a very sedentary lifestyle, you ask them to go to the gym, they will not go to the gym. It's difficult for them to change, right? So even a child, so this is for your son, for him to start liking something, you have to give him enough opportunities for him to try, fail, try, fail, try, fail, and fail, 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 fail. Expect failure many, 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 many times till he starts liking. So this is going to take a long time. It's actually a game of patience. What is not game of patience in parenting, right? Everything is a game of patience. I sometimes feel, before you become a parent, I feel this, that you should be put inside some room. Like, how long can you stay in this room? And only after you pass that boredom,
Then you can be a parent.
then okay, now you're eligible for being a parent. So everything is a game of patience in parenting. So you have to be very patient. And I sincerely hope that with trials, and when you don't have huge expectations from yourself or from your child, you take one step at a time, you take one meal at a time. It is very important that your kid, if he doesn't like broccoli, don't give broccoli. Give something he likes. Or if he doesn't like anything, then just give broccoli again and again and again and again. Let him try. It's the good news is that taste buds, the human taste buds, they change. You must have seen it with yourself. I mean, sometimes we don't like something, and then we are like, okay, oh, now I kind of like it, after giving it a lot of tries. So I would ask you to firstly learn to cook vegan meals. Ask your children to get involved if they are interested. And the other thing is, give them a lot of options, and give them opportunities to like something. It's okay if they don't like it. There's no point bashing yourself up or feeling bad that, oh my god, nobody likes my cooking. But just trying, and just keep on trying, and be patient with your kids, be patient with yourself, be nice to yourself. Don't have concrete like agendas and goals that I must meet this, otherwise I'm a bad parent. No, that's not how it works. So yeah, so these are the two points of advice that I have for you.
Should Belle be vegetarian as well, just so that she can see what her daughter is trying to get into?
Oh yes, of course. Actually, I missed that point. So if you want your son to eat broccoli, you have to sit with him and eat broccoli.
Let him see me eat it.
Yes, and my advice is that don't expect him to immediately, oh, my mama is eating broccoli, I'm going to eat. No, that's not how. So you must have seen it, like children pick up bad habits. Like you don't even tell them to pick up bad habits,
Yeah.
but somehow they'll pick up, right? You never tell them to use rude words, but they will use them. And you'll be like wondering, how did he learn that? When did that happen? And how does he know that word, right? Now she knows that word. But then when it comes to picking up good habits, they take longer time. So eating a broccoli or enjoying a vegan food is also a habit that needs to be instilled. And for that to happen, you have to set examples, of course. I mean, you cannot ask a child to stop smoking when you are like, doing it in front of him day and night. So setting an example is of utmost importance. And that's what I was telling you, that, when you watch Forks Over Knives, please watch it with your partners. Because, the whole family coming on board, because I'm sure all parents want their children to be happy, healthy, safe, and, they want them to thrive, and they want them to do good in their life. So doing it as a family is very important. So yes, you don't have to turn vegetarian. You don't have to turn vegan to enjoy a broccoli.
Yeah.
You can just increase your plant-based ingredients into your meals and reduce animal products as much as you can, starting with a scale which is your own scale. We are not here to, as I was saying, we're not here to prove anything to anybody.
Yeah. But is going plant-based, is it more expensive than just regular meals?
Depends on what ingredients you're using. So if you like to eat quinoa, then it'll be expensive. If you want to eat rice, it's not. Both are plant based.
Mm.
Vegetables are vegetables, right? I mean,
Do
you
you
would
go for like organic?
so organic lifestyle is a different. I mean, the organic chicken is also available. Organic milk is also available. So you don't have to go organic if you're vegan. I mean, it's a totally disjoint lifestyle. I mean, there are organic people who are on organic lifestyle eat everything organic. So starting with eggs and everything organic, but they're not necessarily plant based or vegan. So if you want to go organic. That's up to you. But if you want to go vegan for your health reasons, for the planet, and also for the animals, then keeping your budget really low is easy. It really depends on what kind of ingredients you're using. As I said, quinoa and brown rice, right?
Mm.
And then if you can eat local vegetables, you can eat nuts and seeds which are not imported. I mean, of course everything is imported here, but then things which are cheaper. You don't have to eat macadamia. You can eat cashew nuts, or you can eat walnuts. So yeah, it really, I personally, because this is a perspective that a lot of people have, that if you are plant based, you must drink organic almond milk. That's not how it is. We don't have almond milk in our house. I make soy milk myself at home. Just buy soybeans and just boil it and just make milk. That's so cheap. Even actually, it might be cheaper than dairy milk, and it's organic and it's homemade, and they can drink as much as they want. So no, it really depends on you. If you want fine dining, then whether it is vegan or not vegan, it is fine dining. It's going to cost you. But if you want to go to a hawker center and eat, stir fried vegetables with rice, no, it's just the same, if not lesser.
Is there an unhealthy vegan diet though? Because technically, if you eat potato chips all day long, that's
That's
technically vegan.
Absolutely. So there are a lot of unhealthy vegans around the world. They go vegan only for ethical reasons. Actually, I used to be one of them before I became a parent, because I didn't have the knowledge of that there are 5 categories of food, like whole grains, vegetables, fruits, legumes, and nuts and seeds, which I am supposed to be eating every day. Um, so I was practically on French fries and Coke for a very long time, and I was like, "Hey, I'm vegan," which I was,
Technically
because
vegan, yeah.
I was an ethical vegan. I had nothing to do with the planet, or even with the with my health at one point. This is like really earlier in life. But the thing is that when it comes to parenting, it's a bit more serious than just when we are not parents, we just do whatever we want to do. We want to live our life, and then as soon as you're a parent, we're like, oh my god, I can't do that. Oh my goodness, I cannot do that, because if I do that, it'll have an impact on my child. So I will not do it. So similarly, when I became a parent, I made sure that my food is very, very healthy, and it's well balanced and planned. And anyway, whatever I eat, my children eat. So it goes like that. So yeah, so there are a lot of unhealthy vegans around the world. And my suggestion is that if you see an unhealthy vegan, please don't judge veganism, because as I said, vegan food is just like any other food. Just like the way you would not judge a carnivorous meal based on a sick carnivore alone. Like, there are a lot of factors
Yeah.
to it. It's not so, this is like oversimplification of a lifestyle. So yeah, you can be unhealthy on a vegan diet, definitely.
Yeah.
But if you make sure that you have food belonging to all these 5 categories that I mentioned, and you are eating them like really well, and you're taking our vitamin B12 supplement along with vitamin D, because vitamin D is normally from the sunlight. And although in Singapore and tropical countries is not a problem, but if you are in the UK or US, where you have to stay indoors for longer time, although I feel that even in Singapore we are so much indoors nowadays.
Yeah.
Like although I chase my kids out like for at least 2 hours, go outside and play, but for adults, vitamin D is also very important as a supplement.
All right. I think that's all the questions we have for you, Ambaree. Thank you so much for answering all our queries. And
So happy to talk
We'll
to you.
try. We will try. I mean, I don't mind being vegetarian, but
We're
I
gonna
don't think
try.
I don't think my daughter can give up eggs just yet because she loves her omelets and all that. But we will try. She
Do you
just
know?
says that I don't want to eat meat. That's all.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Do you know that you can actually make omelette out of tofu?
What? What? Really? We need to talk more, Amari. This is gonna
You
be
need to
another.
come up with a book, I
Oh
guess.
man.
How to, yeah, and
Give
post
us,
recipes in there.
omelette out of tofu. If you say, okay, here's your omelette, you'll be like, yay, my omelette. If you say this is your omelette, which doesn't have an egg, you'll be like, really? How did that happen? You know. So vegan food can be very interesting in that sense.